views expressed on the following program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership.
Arizona, this is Brother Mike, HardcoreChristianity.com. Thank you for tuning into the program today. May God richly bless you, and thank you for your time. Today's Bible study, American spree killers. Today on Hardcore. Hey, will you call somebody and tell them the radio program's on? I'll get started on the Bible study in just one quick second. Say, this is Brother Mike. I am the professional counselor at the Arizona Deliverance Center in Central Phoenix on 15th Avenue, just south of Osborne Road. On the website, HardcoreChristianity.com, we've got all of our services that we provide the Christian community. You can sign up for a free seminar. Our next seminar is on familiar spirits. You won't want to miss that one. We have services every Thursday night and every Friday night. We have teaching, healing, preaching, and deliverance at every single service. We ran out of sick people last week. We need you to send us some more, please. A woman last week had a spectacular fibromyalgia healing. I wish you'd have been there to see it. It was really beautiful. Don't forget to hit the PayPal button again and send in your donations. Thank you so much for supporting me over the last 15 years, and thank you so much for the Healing House. It is done. It's open. The Deliverance Center and the Healing House, they look absolutely fantastic. Thank you so much for your kind donations, and thank you for calling Sister Karen on the front page of the website and for letting her sell your house for you, and thank you so much for all the 5-star reviews you've given her on Zillow. Thank you. That is really great. Thank you for blessing us. American spree killers. Well, as you know, I did a radio show yesterday on the king of the spree killers, which is the Stephen Paddock in Las Vegas, the mass murderer. Spree killers, as you know, are individuals who lose their minds for a brief period of time and kill a series of human beings in succession and then usually end up killing themselves. The vast majority of them are mentally ill or have some form of mental illness, and the vast majority of them are on psychotropic medications, as was the case with the gentleman in Las Vegas. The root cause of spree killing is a seared conscience and demons. These demons enter the child in the womb or in childhood during periods of abuse or extreme disappointment. The demons enter the person's brain. They go to work setting up a network of false, fake personalities. The Bible calls it a dipsychus. The Greek word is dipsychus. It's translated in the King James Bible as double-mindedness. And dipsychus actually technically means in Greek someone who has two souls. Someone who has two souls, a two-soul person. The demons set up within the person's mind and subconscious, starting in childhood or in the womb, they set up a fake or false personality, and those personalities manifest many times in everyday life. For example, you're talking to somebody and you swear you're talking to another person all of a sudden. You happen to look at them and you see their eyes change. Sometimes they change color, sometimes they get dark or black. It's unbelievable. And it sounds like you're talking to a totally different person. It happens all the time. There are many people, many people in your church who actually have fake personalities, false, fake personalities. Yeah, remember the person that's always happy and starts telling you about what they did and where they went and what they're doing, and they make idle chit-chat conversation and it just flows out of their mouth? Remember those people? That's a dipsychus. That's a person who has developed a defense mechanism around strangers in church to appear to be a, friendly, loving, dedicated Christian, when in fact it's a dipsychus. It's a false personality. It's fake. Well, these cases of spree killers are in an extreme case. They have a seared conscience. The Greek word is kateriazo. It means to cauterize. and they have no remorse or sense of remorse for what they've done or what they're doing. America is loaded with spree killers, and the guy in Las Vegas now is number one. He is the number one spree killer in America, obviously. Almost 60 dead, over 500 injured. This guy's at the top by far, no question about it. He makes Al Capone look like duty. I think Al Capone killed 8 gangsters at the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. And those guys were career criminals, so the societal loss was very low. These people that were killed in Las Vegas were totally innocent victims. So many of them were good people, decent people, strong contributors to our society. This whole thing was a tragedy beyond description. But America's always had them, we always will. George Hennard, for example, in 1991, the Bell County, Texas murderer, used a Glock pistol. 23 dead, 20 injured. Remember it? It was the Luby's cafeteria slaughter. The guy was massively infected with demons and was a woman hater. He hated women. He'd gotten screwed by a judge in a divorce, and the second soul, the fake personality, through rage and anger, triggered to the new personality, the spree killer. Chow Sing-hu, the Virginia Tech monster, that massacre occurred in 2007. 32 dead, 17 injured. He had mental problems. He had a severe anxiety disorder. He used a Walther semi-automatic pistol and a Glock. And his altered personality or altered state triggered because he had hatred for how bad society treated him and how people were rejecting him. His altered personality went just like that. And they take off one day and nothing and nobody's ever the same again. He was killing students at point blank range. Harris and Klebold, everybody knows them. 13 dead, 23 injured. The Columbine shooting, both of them had mental illnesses. Zoloft, Luvox medications. Both of them were emotionally ill. Both of them, again, hated society for what they had done to them. The demons convinced them that they were rejected. And the second personality took over that had been building for years, building since childhood. Both of them were raised as dysfunctional families. And the new personality, the second one, the fake one, took off. And all them people at Columbine are dead. Jeff Weiss, the Red Lake shooter. That was in Minnesota in September of 2005, I'm sorry. There were 9 dead and 12 injured. Committed suicide. He was on Prozac. Kip Kinkle in Oregon in 1998. 2 dead, 22 injured. 15-year-old kid walked into the Oregon school and started shooting. He shot his parents first while they were sleeping. Then he went to school in Springfield, Oregon, shot 2 classmates, killed a teacher. He was on Ritalin and Prozac. Once again, the root cause of all these things are spirits that enter the person's mind. No human being is by nature a spree killer. No human being on their own does these things. These are all satanically encouraged, created, and partially induced. And they create a fake soul, a second soul in the person, and an external stimulus triggers its takeover. The second personality takes over. You've seen this happen in your own family. You've seen it happen at work. Something triggers the person at work or at home, usually a frustration or an anger, and you happen to notice, oh my God, this is a different person. They became someone else. They disassociated, so to speak. They became another person, a dipsicus. That's what spree killers do, only on a much more severe scale. Much more severe scale. They become another person, usually through rage, anger, or hate. There's always frustration tied to it. And boom, the second personality takes over. The person usually has pre-existing emotional or mental illness problems, usually bipolar, usually anxiety disorder, usually a personality disorder. And they're almost always on medications, almost every one of them. They're almost all on psychotropic medications. Now remember, the medications alone do not cause this. It started in childhood, sometimes in the womb, through the sin of the parents, or generational sin comes through the family tree, and the spirits get into the child, and they set up over a period of time, it takes them years to do it, a second fake soul, a dipsicus. They become another person, and they enter an altered state during severe or traumatic environmental stimulus. And these people, boom. You're sitting in a movie theater in Aurora, Colorado, and somebody comes in on clozapam, sertraline, Zoloft, different medications. They've had a diagnosis in the past of bipolar, mild schizophrenia. Correct? And in 2013, you're sitting there watching a movie, and some guy comes in. Wow. And starts to shoot everybody in the Aurora, Colorado movie theater. 2013, there it was. James Holmes was his name. Clearly mentally ill, clearly on medications, but had severe trauma in his childhood and picked up demons when he was young. Listen, friends, if you suspect a family member, a good friend, having a dipsicus, a second personality, an altered state, they need deliverance. 602-636-5800. Don't wait until you read about this person on the news. They can get help at the Arizona Deliverance Center, 636-5800. Don't wait until something horrible happens. If you notice you have an altered state, come get help.
The views expressed on this program are those of the host and not necessarily those of staff, management, or ownership. This program was sponsored by Michael W. Smith.